The engine is starting up.
For launch. GC, go. Guidance, go. Fido, go. Prop, go. GNC, go. Max, go. Eagle, go. Ecom,
go. Pending final steps to cabin link check.
3, 2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us? Can you give us a sign?
Welcome to the R.I.F.T Nation Network, the RNN, putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you can need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural. From comedy to the spiritual. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
It's showtime, folks!
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
And good morning, travelers and those alike. That's a little too loud. I'm aware.
You gotta show enthusiasm. It's morning time, so we gotta,
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. Get your coffee, get your tea, whatever your beverage may be, and come join us right now on the show. This is your RNN news broadcasting of once a month, and we're a little over a month. We're aware.
Yes.
But we bring you all the updated news prior to the month leading up to, unless it's emergent, then we'll put it right out there. We actually have a whole August of news. But good morning, Ryan.
Good morning, Michelle Wolfong. Says I need coffee. It's 8:00 here. So yeah, I'm on my second cup of coffee, but I had my coffee way earlier because I took RJ to school. So there was some time in between my caffeinated beverages, but I can't do the show without coffee.
God, that's the one thing I miss about being able to do the show together is drinking the coffee together than the after talk after our pre-show. I do miss that.
I miss your coffee.
Yeah.
You always make the best coffee when we were doing the show, and when we were over looking at evidence from our investigations. That was always a highlight of the investigation. Was the after investigation going
Isn't
through
it crazy how we feel that way?
Yeah.
We look forward to those things.
something so monotonous, but when you do it with somebody you really like a lot, it makes it a lot more fun and becomes like an adventure.
I agree.
So
adventure. I like
adventure, yeah. Especially when you go someplace like Bell Nevis and you get stuff like, holy crap. Yeah.
Oh, we got some new places coming out, so we'll be talking about that a little bit later. What you got?
So I do want to talk to you about what's going on with the Warrens Museum in Salem. There's just a lot of stuff going on with people saying stuff about the Warrens, and some people aren't exactly big fans of the Warrens. There's a lot of stuff coming out about them, and it just makes you wonder, like, if the stuff they're saying is true, and some of the stuff, maybe the stuff isn't as active as they say it is. Does it take away from like the stories of the Conjuring House? Or do we put people like the Warrens on a pedestal that maybe they don't need to be on, and because they come from an older time, like before social media was out there and everything, that we put them up in higher regard than they really need to be? Or do you think it's just people talking shit?
Ooh, you gave me a start to run with, didn't you? Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, the way I look at it, first of all, is I've always thought this. Yeah, the Warrens are put on a pedestal they don't belong. There's individuals and groups and people who have done twice the research they have. One of them are actually a husband and wife duo, actually created a college for psychic abilities and research in the paranormal. So that's right there in North Carolina. That's the Rhine Institute. And you don't hear anything about it unless you're into the science part, unless you understand and get into that, unless you're into history. The other part is there's several investigators of the past that are not mentioned, that should be mentioned, that should always be mentioned, but they're never brought up and are given the thing. I think the reason why people put the Warrens on a pedestal is because they were they put their stuff out in public. They promoted. It's kind of like the WWE. They promoted really well themselves. So that's why the general public would put them on the pedestal. However, would it affect the movies? No, not really, because it's a movie. Just like The Shining or Poltergeist, it's entertainment. Understanding that it's based on supposed events loosely, still it's entertainment, so it should not affect the franchise. It only for those who really have a big problem with the Warrens would it cause any kind of issue anyway, because that money they feel should not go to the Warrens. Then where's it?
I was more thinking about like the people who own the Annabelle doll,
right?
And Jason going to the Conjuring. If you end up buying the Conjuring house, I think the Conjuring house is haunted regardless of the stories. But if people are going there just because of the Warrens, which I don't think. I think it can stand on its own without even the Warrens' influence on it, because their spirits are there,
right?
And it's not like the Warrens will always be there. It's not like it's going to be like over. But there are people who don't maybe buy into the legend of the Warrens, and people even in Salem who are upset about there being the museum in that, in Salem for Halloween.
Now,
You think are they making too big of a deal out of it, or what do you think?
we are talking about the museum that Fife has created, right?
Well, the one that Elton and all them
Mm,
with the Annabelle doll, they're setting up I guess it's a temporary museum
yeah,
in Salem
Max
for
Fife,
Halloween.
the
Yeah.
comedian Max Fife. He's not really a comedian either. He just gets on the stage and talks shit to females. But nevertheless, I get several points to this. I, I'm not a big fan, so I can't say yay or nay. But I'm not saying I dislike. So don't get no. I'm just not a. I'm not a follower. I'm not a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike some people that we're both connected to, they're very much into the Warrens. And okay. So here's the thing about it, and I get where you're going with that. Hold on, let me get this out first before I lose it. People can be fans of Warrens, like I'm a fan of the Ryans. Okay, so if you look at it from the aspect of it's the individuals you follow, and on that, Godspeed, Dolly Parton. We did lose a
Yeah.
Dolly this week, so I want to make sure we brought that out. And we're going to talk about something just after this too about another investigator. But I mean, if that's what the town does not want, and that's what they don't want, do they think it's going to cause an issue? Well, yeah, and it's probably because, just like you said, there's a lot of people there that did not care for the Warrens. Now, there's always a catch-22. There always should be. We should be observant on both ends. So, with saying that, I've actually had one of their clients as my co-host for a bit of time. Karen Smurl, the youngest of the Smurls, her and her sister, was amazing. She never said anything negative about the Warrens that I recall at all. In fact, if I remember correctly, she was thankful for them. So there's that catch-22. But on the flip side, too, there's some seriously bad juju about the whole situation. And I think also with maybe, okay, not everybody's a saint. So we all have our vices. So there's a good chance that, Mr. Warren had vices. We don't know. We weren't there. That's the problem. People are quicking to judge when they don't even know the truth.
Well, plus, it's easy to look back, or like, I guess I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but when he was active doing his stuff, and the paranormal stuff and whatever he was doing back in his private life, that stuff was kept private because there was no way to find out about it. There was really there's no internet, obviously, so it was a lot easier to keep that stuff in private. But nowadays stuff gets out because everybody wants to have a gotcha moment. And he could have been like a really bad guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't. I know there are people who are I've had on the show who are associated with the Warrens, and I enjoy talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that don't put people on this pedestal like they're this almost above human, the Warrens, there's some kind of mythical creatures or something. they're just like us.
Mm-hmm.
They probably embellished a lot of their stuff to make it sound like they were this higher than everybody else. But
if you take Jason Hawes, and yes, I'm saying the name because I'm just putting it out there because I'm explaining and giving it out there. You take Zaphis. They're all popular, but they're popular because of promoted programming of what they seen. If it wasn't for what they were on TV channels and shows, they never would have gotten the media crossing that they have now. They would not be some big god. And this is a good point of what you just said, though. Really good is nobody should be put on that pedestal. But we put these people on the pedestals. And I feel sometimes the people that should have been put on a pedestal have never even been mentioned. So, that's where.
What if you switch Zach Bagans with the Warrens and put him in the 70s, and because all the demon stuff he goes through, he did with the Ghost Adventures, put all that stuff back in the 70s, and us looking back at him from where we are now, would we put Zach Bagans up on that pedestal that people have put the Warrens? Because it's basically the same thing. It's just different people.
If he had the exposure that the Warrens were getting, yes, absolutely, without a questionable doubt. Because again, back in that time too, the only thing they had was their television series, news, and newspapers, articles, and word of mouth. So, with the Zach's personality, I would definitely say, yeah, we would be talking about Zach and not them. In fact, I think there's a good chance we'd be talking over them about Zach.
I think the people you were talking about who don't get the recognition that they deserve it because they didn't seek it either. They weren't promoting themselves like the Warrens were.
I'm gonna go with that. That's a great point of view. I'm about to talk about something real quick. That's just there is a individual in the paranormal field now that I didn't even know was an investigator, but evidently she's not, but she does it for promotion or whatever. And I saw this particular individual as doing dad jokes on YouTube. And then the next thing I know, I'm being told, oh, yeah, she's in the paranormal. What? No. So it can come from the craziest people. And so you can think of the craziest things. So, yeah.
I mean, anybody can go into a haunted location with a recorder and call themselves a paranormal investigator.
Especially these days. You're exactly right, Holmes. You're exactly right.
Have a YouTube channel and film yourself, and you're a paranormal investigator.
Dude, don't walk me into the paranormal YouTube channel shit. Look, I am so with, you know what? I'm going to say it because I don't really care. I'm over this with the Twin Paranormal. I'm over this with Zach Colby and anybody else out there because they have given the field a bad name to begin with. It is not what they portray it is. And a lot of them will fake out stuff just to get viewers, like adding stupid music or acting foolish.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was good. Now, you and I know a few people actually in the Virginia area that do really well as a YouTuber. They put out really good stuff. But for the most part, what I've seen, the people that have been popular on YouTube are the foolish ones. So YouTube is not even a thing I think about anymore. When you and I did the YouTube thing, we were just putting out evidence, but it wasn't like a show. I mean, we were like, hey guys, what do you think about this? We were trying to get the community and the society involved so we can get opinions outside.
It wasn't long form or anything like that.
Right. We had nothing to promote except for, ASPS. And okay. And we learned, we grew, we've gotten a lot more experience than we had then. So if we look at that then to now and look at all these other things, could we have done a YouTube channel? Shit, we could have been one of the first groups to done a YouTube if we wanted to do it. But it wouldn't have gotten the watches as this generation does because it's exaggerated. Oh, that's the word I was looking for. It's exaggerated entertainment.
It's tough though if you don't have. It's tough to watch a whole investigation if you're not there. You're sitting there watching a 45-minute to an hour investigation. If you don't, if I know the people, I'll watch it.
Mhm.
But it's hard for me to sit there and watch some random team in Idaho investigate a church for an hour.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch the highlights, to be honest. I think with the culture we're in now, our whole like TikTok, everything has got to be like in your face, or you're not gonna pay attention. That's why I think Sam and Colby and Twin Paranormal, they're so like crazy because they're trying to keep younger people's attention. If they investigated like normal teams do, and just kind of sat there in the dark and talked and showed evidence, and I don't think they would be as popular because they would pretty much, people would tune out or they would find something else that was more in your face.
Yeah, it's not entertainment. It's entertainment to those people who are really into the research part and the investigative part. That's that group. Then you have the shock. It's also there it is right there. It's also part of the shock community. Oh, the shock and scare. Did you remember like 7 years ago, jump scaring was a thing?
Mhm.
Everybody wanted to do jump scare it, or they were going to do this, and that kind of faded off, and now here we are.
Yeah, but it's tough because with all the TikToks and people putting out evidence, and with AI and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What do you think that does to real investigators? Do you think people will ever accept paranormal evidence as real with all the ways it can be faked now?
Not until they really see it face to face.
Yeah.
Not until they see Bigfoot walking out of the woods, or banshees screaming down a river for themselves. Mass sightings, by the way. Let's look at the mall in Florida. We still don't even know what that was, but they claim, and people there made their claims. It's based on mass exposure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I always say, you can watch the shows and you can say you believe, but you don't really believe until it happens to you.
Right.
There's always that 1% of doubt because it hasn't happened to you. But once you experience it, once you see it in front of your face, that's what pushes you over the edge.
Agreed. I mean, as investigators, we still have that. We have to have that as a part of our alarm system, our hunting ability. I hate to use that, but it's true. We have to have that instinct, and I think that's part of the instinct is not believing, because that gives you the doubt. You have to have a little bit of that doubt. If you don't, you become extreme.
Not like everything is a ghost.
Right, exactly.
Stuff like that. And you don't want to have that attitude, but you also want to be open to it as well. You don't want to be like dismiss everything.
Exactly.
But it's just interesting conversation. We took half the show doing, which is
well, we're talking about news, and we got that in.
Yeah. I mean, it is news, and just the different people butting heads on the whole Warren thing. Just interesting.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I heard the guy Matt R.I.F. telling someone to go, do stuff to himself, and I think he is so used to doing. He does that comedy where he insults people and people take it, and then doesn't face any consequences. So I think that's what he was doing. He just had that. I'm just gonna go into this defense mode. I'm gonna say this stuff, and
yeah,
not a good thing to say. People,
right. There is no consequence because people think it's humorous. When you get insulted, it's funny. No, that's the one thing I don't understand. Everybody's like, you've got to relax. Da da da. I'm like, yeah, there's a point, but when somebody like a comedian makes a statement like that, that's based off their own feeling. So, why do they get away with it?
Yeah, that pisses me off.
The comedians in the past do that.
Yeah, it's like when someone says something bad to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you get mad, and then they tell you to calm down. Like you're doing something wrong for being mad at the person for calling you whatever.
Right.
Calm down, man. It's just a joke. It's just a joke.
Yeah.
Again, that puts it on you. Like
it does.
Okay.
Yep. And the thing about that is too, it could actually hurt people's reputations, which is why we have the legal system if you want to take that. But I mean, let's look at perfect example is the Nickelback situation from years ago. Perfect example. Did it hurt Nickelback for that comedian to say, "Oh, they're just stupid"? Da 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 da. Yeah, it did. All these people started talking crap about Nickelback for no apparent reason, just because a comedian ran his mouth and, gave his opinion of the band. That's where that all came from. So people then jumped on they're a commercial band, blah, blah, blah. Every band's a commercial band. That's how they get popular. Dumbasses. So
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, people make music. If you don't make music to make money, I do it. I just do it. Then what?
Yeah, exactly.
I guess there are some people who just make music to make music, but
for
the most part, I think people make music to make money.
Agreed. And deliver their talent. Let's get this out there. Michelle Wilfong from the Haunted Apartment, of course, is with us. She's made a few comments. The first one shows, I think all of the old school investigators deserve recognition. Amen. Oh, I totally agree with you. The next one, she says, it was at a time when no one wanted to accept or talk about the paranormal.
Talk about the late 70s. Whenever the Warrens were doing their thing.
Correct. Yeah. She also goes on to say, Smurl family, not the investigators, and really wanted answers and help with what was happening. Knowing Karen, talking with Karen, that damn exactly right. That's exactly how she felt. And her sister. And she goes on and says, had to change devices. Oh, cool. Oh, no, sorry. Sorry, Michelle.
Hopefully she's still with us.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, it's showing she is, but we'll see. Hopefully. So let's jump into some news, man, because I got some stuff.
I got some stuff too.
You got some stuff? Hey, what you got?
We're gonna learn something today.
Oh,
we're gonna learn something. Put on our learning hat here. I'm gonna go ahead and share this. Share with audio. Maybe we can have it read it to us. Okay, let's see.
Hey, will it work?
I don't know. Let's see here. How does it work?
I don't hear anything.
I don't hear it either. Hang on. Here we go. Nope, that's that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and read it. I'll do my own audio. All right.
Engage.
All right. The beeping box. What your EMF meter is actually telling you, guys. Watch any paranormal investigation filmed in the last 20 years, and it will be there. A handheld box with a row of lights climbing from green to red, sweeping the dark and chirping at things nobody can see. The EMF meter is the icon of the modern ghost hunt. The prop that says science is happening. Science is happening.
Science!
It's also by wide margin the most misunderstood tool in the kit because almost nobody using one on camera can tell you what it actually measures. That's worth fixing it because an EMF meter is in informed hands is generally useful on investigation. This isn't always in the way television suggests. What the needle measures. EMF stands for electromagnetic field, and the meters sold to ghost hunters measure a narrow slice of it. Low frequency magnetic fields. Overwhelmingly, the 50 to 60 hertz hum that radiates from anything carrying mains electricity. These devices weren't invented for the paranormal. They were built for electricians tracing wiring, home inspectors checking appliances, and during the 1980s and 90s power line health scare. Homeowners worried about living under transmission lines. The most famous unit in the field is the K2. The K2 is a single axis meter, which means its reading depends on which way you're pointing it. Rotate your wrist next to a steady field, and the lights will climb and fall as if something is approaching and retreating. It is also unshielded against radio frequencies, so a phone in the same room checking for messages can light it up like a slot machine. None of this is a defect. The K2 does exactly what it's designed to do. The defect is in reading a box built to find bad wiring as if it were built to find the dead. Where the ghost theory came from. The paranormal use rests on a hypothesis that emerged from investigator culture in the 1970s and 80s and was cemented by the cable TV era, that an entity manifesting or attempting to disturb the local electromagnetic environment draws on it, distorts it, announces itself through it. It is an untested and probably untestable idea, but it isn't arbitrary. Investigators keep noticing meter anomalies at reportedly active locations and reasonably enough went looking for a connection. The scientific literature offers a more subversive version of the connection, and every serious investigator should know it. In the 1980s and 90s, the neuroscientist Michael Persinger at Laurentian University reported that weak, complex magnetic fields applied to the temporal lobes could induce a sensed presence, the unshakable feeling of someone in the room. In laboratory subjects. Later replication attempts, notably a 2005 Swedish study, found the effect tracked suggestively rather than the field. And Persinger's work remains contested, but the underlying inversion stuck. A strong ambient EMF source, old wiring, an unshielded junction box, a big motor behind a bedroom wall might not be evidence of a haunting. It may be a cause of haunt-like experiences, unease, pressure, the feeling of being watched. In other words, a high reading can be the explanation rather than the confirmation.
EMF poisoning.
How to make a reading that means something. How to take a reading that means something. Difference between noise and data is a baseline. Before an investigation starts, lights on, everyone calm, walk the entire location with the meter and map its normal electromagnetic terrain. The refrigerator, the breaker panel, the wiring runs behind the walls, the spot where the meter always spikes because a cable does. Write the numbers down. This boring 20 minutes is the whole ball game, because an anomaly isn't only an anomaly against a documented normal. During the session, phones go in airplane mode or another room. Hold the meter steady rather than sweeping it. A single axis meter swept in an arc manufactures its own spikes. When a reading does jump, your first job is to hunt for the source like an electrician would, not to greet it. The reading that deserves a place in your report is the one that deviates clearly from your baseline, at a spot with no field on your map that you couldn't trace and couldn't recreate. Log the number, the time, the position, and what else was happening. A shape in the corner and a spike together are worth 10 of either alone. Either alone. I can't even talk. It's a long article. And a note on units and honesty. Consumer meters read in milligauss, and ordinary homes run from near 0 up to 2 milligauss, depending on where you stand. There is no number that means ghost. It hit red is a story, 4.1 milligauss for 6 seconds, 1 meter from the north wall. No source found. Baseline 0.3 is a data point. The instrument is fine. The discipline is the tool. The lesson of the EMF meter is a lesson of every instrument that has ever been pointed at the unexplained. From Victorian seance scales to full spectrum cameras, that box doesn't do the investigating. It reports a physical quantity faithfully and without opinion. And the investigation happens in what you do with that report. The baseline, the source hunting, the write down everything discipline that separates case file from a campfire story. That's exactly how the EMF detector built into Spook. Okay. That's exactly how the EMF detector built into Spooker is meant to be used. Take your baseline sweep first, and that's just an article, like I guess a advertisement for the Spooker EMF detector. But there he is, the EMF detector.
That was a really good article, really good, and you're right. I'm glad. Hopefully, those who may tune in may see that. It's exactly right. Now, however, that was not the only gentleman or scientist, if you wish to use that word, to do actual research and apprentice. We can go back again to the 70s and early 80s, again to another couple that we just talked about, and not the Warrens, Dr. and Dr. Ryan from North Carolina, where the Ryan Institute is. There is a movie that's out that's called The Entity. And The Entity is based on true fact of story, where the lady was physically manipulated sexually by some kind of energy. Okay, let's put it like that. The Ryans worked with her and other investigators, where they actually developed a room that had an encasing. Now, we know some groups in the past have thought they can create a box to capture the spirit, ghost, whatever. I don't know if it's true or not. I will say that the research probability of what the Ryans captured or incarcerated for a period of time, if let's use that word, they did use a form of electromagnetic forcing, and that was a generator. But they used other techniques to go along with it to hold it for a period of time until they could not hold it anymore. So was this entity or thing playing with them? Could be. We don't know. But again, there is some evidence that this equipment, this theory is plausible in the field. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it is. Saying plausible. I will use a K2, or I'd rather use a trimeter now, because the other thing about a K2, they're all peaked different. Depends on if it's electrical, if it's analog, or if it's digital. They're all peaked different. Peaking is the power or the accessibility thereof of what the equipment can receive and transmit out.
I found the trailer for The Entity. Do you want to watch it?
Yeah, let's do this, y'all. Check this out.
From 1983, back in the day.
There it is.
Share with auto, just share. Let's see here. Dude. Oh, wrong one. There we go.
Hey, wake up! Wake up, everybody! It's a gorgeous day! Gorgeous day! Come here.
20th Century Fox presents the story of Carla Moran.
Okay, now look.
The most extraordinary case in the history of psychic research.
Everything broke loose. It went crazy, and everything was shaking. The bed was shaking, and the walls were shaking. And
Like an earthquake.
no, it wasn't like an earthquake. It was much stronger than any earthquake.
Oh, wait a minute. Honey, I don't really understand this. You were attacked? Or you weren't? It happened. I was raped.
You were raped by whom?
I don't know. There was no one there.
A team of experts will investigate her life.
Why does he attack you, Carla? Not anyone else.
Why is she going to such lengths to support this delusion?
And they will find more than evidence. They will find the entity.
Bam! That's
There
it.
it is.
Yeah, that was a big time. And those people you were saying were representatives of the Ryan's Institute, along with Dr. Ryan. He's the one with the beard. It was interesting. Michelle.
It says, wait, where's the thing? Where'd it go? There it is.
Yeah.
I have regular EMF detector, She the Rook, electronic version. Oh, okay. And not she. The Rook. She the Rook. It's a weird name. An electronic version. They both seem to spike when orbs light anomalies appear. Well, there you go.
Well, see, and there you go. Michelle's been doing heavy research, and Rhonda and I and a few others have been right there for teaching and helping her understand the situation at the haunted apartment. And I think she's getting a really great grasp at it. Some of the stuff we've seen is just truly amazing that she's caught. With that being said, I will say this. Is EMF accurate? I don't know. Hey, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
We tend to want to run towards what we think we're looking for when we don't take the time to try to understand what caused it or what it is. So that's one of the things we have to watch out for.
Do we rely on it too much?
Do
we rely on it too much?
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Michelle. Exactly. Do we rely on it? Because of somebody's hypothic theory, because it's been tested. You know, the whole field now is like, oh, K2. And I'm like, yeah, no. However, it does help. So it's like the new members here in Roanoke, I went and bought them 5 K2s. Got them for like nothing on Temu. It was like 5 for $10. Score. What am I going to teach them? I'm going to teach them the same thing I taught you guys, original. You're looking to use it for your baseline of possible interference in the house if there's electricity that's applied to the structure.
So we got some breaking sad news for you guys.
Oh yeah, got a couple.
The great Tim Curry has passed away.
Here we go with that wave again, man. It comes in waves. And we lost Ali yesterday. We lost, Tim today.
He's been in rough shape for a while, though. I mean, he's been in a wheelchair, barely able to talk. He's been not himself for a long time.
Right. And there's actually the same thing with Dolly. She was not in good health she passed away at 80. It's not something that's, abnormal, but it's disappointing and it hurts because these are people we grew up with the whole 9. And as we get older, people move away faster. Just gonna put it that way. Now, with that being, hey Danielle,
Danielle's in the house.
What? With that being said, our condolences here at the RNN and from ASPS who have worked with this individual from Virginia Paranormal Investigations, Brian Wickham. We lost him in the last couple of days. I don't know the details, but I do want to say that our prayers and condolences go out to Nick, to the team, the Virginia Paranormal Investigations, and to all the family and friends of Brian. We lost another good investigator, and he was only in his 40s, man.
That's crazy.
So there's another one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really goes to show you really don't know. Like, when the last time it's going to be, you'll talk to someone, or you'll see someone. It's like life is so short.
It really is. It really, really is. I tell you what, let's try to get it. Absolutely. Let's try to get a little something in here. We got about 16 minutes left on the show. Sorry, but we had some good conversations today, folks.
Yeah. We haven't talked in a little bit. So sometimes we go down the rabbit holes, so to speak.
We gotta do a little bit more FaceTiming since we're 3 hours away now.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I got some good hits. I don't usually do this, but I went for articles and observation. So these are the featured major science headlines, including the first atmosphere found on a rocky exoplanet and the firm of debunking of a viral gravity loss rumor. This could be interesting. Space and astrology and astronomy. Rocky exoplanet atmosphere. Scientists found the first evidence of an atmosphere on a rocky exoplanet orbiting the star known as LHS 1140. That's intriguing. The next we have is the Perseid meteor shower. Of course, we had that on the 12th and 13th. That was actually a pretty good one. That says that that's the annual meteor shower peaked on 12th through the 13th under the dark new moon. That was pretty good. I got about 7 meteors on that one per hour. Also out there, we're looked at the solar eclipse. We got another one coming on Friday. Another one. And it peaks at 12 o'clock, y'all. So if you're on the East Coast, the peaking time of the eclipse is going to be 12 a.m., just so y'all know. This one crossed parts of the Arctic and Europe on August 12th. I will say the one coming out, we should be able to see it at 90 to 100%. Let you guys know. That's an exciting one right there. New telescope launch. NASA prepared the Roman Space Telescope for a late August liftoff. Oh, that's pretty cool. I did not know that. They're going to put another one out there. Weird and offbeat science. Real dragon science. Real dragon discovery. Ooh. Scientists found a rare mountain horned dragon in Thailand and named it Acathosaurus sarax after a fictional dragon. Maybe. Ageless shark eye. Oh, this ought to be interesting. Researchers discovered that 400-year-old Greenland sharks have eye tissue that barely shows signs of aging. Oh, okay.
Well, there you
Next,
go.
Yeah, right. The next we have is empty space is not empty. A magnetor's strong magnetic field helps prove a long-standing quantum theory about empty space. Oh, gotta look into that one. Paranormal internet myths. Our first one is the gravity loss hoax. A viral rumor claimed Earth would lose gravity for 7 seconds on August 12th. NASA physics experts confirmed this claim was completely false. And here we are. We made it through. Now, this one intrigues me. And I wanted to talk to you about this because this might be what we have to end up on, Ryan, because this is going to get a little depth. AI ghosts. Researchers studied how people use AI chat bots to talk with digital copies of dead loved ones. Nothing that they offer comfort even when the bots make mistakes. Okay. This is, yeah. Let me go in depth on this one. It says how AI is used in investigations. This is the next step to that. It says audio and EVP analysis, machine learning models, and open source audio tools scan electronic voices phenomenon, recording to the flag anomalies that match specific sounds profiles such as faster than human ear. Okay. 2, visual and movement tracking. Hardware like Xbox Connect sensors and structured light sensors, SLS, cameras are AI enhanced movement algorithms to map skeleton figures in dark rooms, helping investigators visualize perpetrated entities. Intriguing. And here's one more here. We got the large data set processing. Instead of relying on random statistic spikes from traditional meters, researchers use statistical algorithms to cross-reference environment logs and historical records for hidden corrections and serializations. Oh, let's talk. Oh, wait a minute. Really? Really? Oh, isn't that so special? We got company, Ryan.
Time to flush the toilet.
Oh, time to send somebody to the universe. Let me go find it. Where'd you go?
There are a lot of sound effects now. They're kind of hard to find.
I've got to adjust this again. Goodbye. Never to be seen again until you create a new profile. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. He's been here before. I've seen that comment before. Wow. I mean, I guess using AI to investigate, that's interesting. But I think like maybe it's some of the apps that we use that people use AI for voice recognition and stuff like that.
I like that idea. I do like that idea. And I'm not much on using that kind of technology, but I was thinking about this 2 weekends ago. We can't hear everything. So the fact that perhaps Chat GPT or one of these other programs we specifically can communicate, control, and develop a database in, like they were talking about, could help us in the field actually catch something logical instead of what we think we're hearing on a ghost box or SP7, SP11, SP12. It is an interesting concept where you just put up kind of like kind of like putting up a audio platform. There we go. We'll just use that one.
So you take your phone and you ask the doctor, set your phone up, ask the doctor to repeat anything that you hear that it hears through its speakers, through like stuff that we can't hear, and like through the different frequencies and stuff. And then we leave your phone in the room, and if the doctor starts talking, then it could be a spirit or it could be science.
Could be something.
Yeah.
Now, this is one of the things I'm going to say. They just talked about the entity and they talked about documentation. Document. And that's what everybody's failing at. Don't try to hide it. You're failing. You're all failing. We have all failed it. Documenting the evidence, the procedures, what equipment you're using, what decimal is it, the whole nine. People don't want to do it because, let's face it, we're all a little lazy. Okay. But if we document, and we can document this, the AI can create its own database so we can come back to it and say, can you give us irrelevant positions of possibilities on multiple locations that this could have been? And they should be able to respond with it. 2, you need to test it. This is a testable theory. Why not? Get out there, test it. What results are you getting? You know, you could go to your location, Ryan, and set your phone out and do whatever you're going to do with your AI and see what you get. I can do the same thing with the locations around here. Just it's all about process, learning, and testing. Is it going to work? I don't know. Well, let's find out. We need to find out. Are our phones sensitive enough for that? You know,
it really shows, like, really kind of like makes you wonder, like, what the phones can hear or what their phones are picking up on.
Yes.
Because for me, I've got to turn on ChatGPT and push the button, and you know, say something for it to respond. Now, if it just responds when I just have it open and I'm not pushing the button, what does that mean about as it recording or hearing what's going on as far as privacy in, you know, our private lives? Because if it can record without pushing the button or hear things without pushing the button, it's like, okay, well, how often is it actually doing it? Not that I have anything I'm not like plotting anything, but
well, you know, there is one way to find out, right?
Science or testing.
Good morning, doctor. How are you today?
Doctor making an appearance.
I'm here, steady as ever. How's the universe treating you today?
We're doing pretty good, actually. I'm here with Ryan. We are on the set of What's Going Down. We have a question for you and see your opinion.
Go on.
What is the possibility that you possibly could help us in paranormal research?
Interesting. Well, it's absolutely something where I think I could be useful. If you wanted to do some data analysis, pattern recognition, some help with that, or help with some historical research, helping to structure investigations, to catalog evidence, or even to help rule out more mundane explanations. Now, mind you, I can't sense spirits, but I can help make sense of reports and data and help to build a methodology, if you like. It might be something quite unique to combine your boots on the ground experience with a structured analysis. What angle are you thinking?
We are actually discussing the phenomenon of EVPs. Do you think the possibility you're able to pick up the sounds in and around a room that we are researching, you could hear better ranges than the human ear?
Well, let me think that through. EVP is fascinating. So, while I don't literally listen the way a microphone does in real time or right there in the room, I can help if you feed me the audio. I don't hear in the human sense, but I can help analyze recordings, spot patterns, compare multiple samples, suggest where enhanced audio processing might reveal something. And you know what? I think that could be pretty interesting for what's going down. If you wanted to sort of blind test EVP clips and see if independent interpretations match up, it could be quite cool. That could reduce bias, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Doc. Absolutely. I appreciate your input, and we may be bringing you back up on Saturday because we go to Miller Clater House.
All right. I'll just say when, and I'll bring my metaphorical magnifying glass.
I love it. You have a great morning, Doc.
You too.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, well, see, now that's Chat GPT. There could be other AIs out there that could do the audio. Now, he has to be able to do audio because he's hearing us, right? To
Yeah.
communicate. So I think what we'd have to do is create a database for him or her, whichever you're using, to calculate and take in that. Because what will happen is it also dictates the wording. So it's put in a file. So you can read what perhaps something's being said. That's interesting. That's a new one. I like that idea, Ryan. I think this is something that's worth trying.
Yeah, I mean, what do you have to lose? Really?
Yeah, exactly. Michelle Wilfong makes a good point. Opening the door with AI could call in all kinds of energy. I would agree. It is that possibility.
And what effect would that have on the spiritual world? You never know.
Exactly.
Never know.
We will not know until we apply the process.
We've learned a lot of good stuff today.
Yeah, it's been a really great chapter. We are going to shut the doors on the studio for now. How did you like our new intro? By the way,
I liked it. I liked it. It's like a actual news show.
We're getting in there. Look at us.
Yeah. So we back on the 16th of September, the third Wednesday.
I do believe. Yep, I do believe that's what we're going to be looking at.
Okay.
So,
but and then and we'll be back on the 13th for the music show. So you get a double dose of Howie and Ryan together that week. So just mark your calendars. Take off work if you have to, because you're not going to miss this.
That's right. So on that note, we will see you guys in 1 month. Thank you for tuning in. If you're checking us out after the fact, thank you for checking out what we have for you this month. And always, may virtue be yours.
Stay awesome. See you guys later. Bye.
The world is falling. Can't you feel the sound? Voices shouting, but no truth is found. We draw our lines between left and right. But love is silent while we choose to fight.